And welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Elisa. I run Homegrove Designs, a channel that is completely designed to help you learn how to flip furniture, give you tips and tutorials, and just to show you the whole process that I go through from piece to piece. I'm a mom to 4 kids and I homeschool the older 3, so when I'm not hanging out with my kids and wearing many hats with them, I'm out here in the garage for my creative outlet. So today I'm going to walk you through the easiest base you will ever build. I have built several bases and none of them have been this easy. So if you are looking to upgrade your dresser or your nightstand or any other piece with a simple, easy do-it-yourself base, then follow along because I'm going to show you. As always, please like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more furniture flips, tips, tricks, and tutorials. All right, y'all, let's get to it. Okay, so here we are, and let's take a look at this piece. There was a really odd 1/2 inch overlay, as you can see right here where I circled, on both the dresser and the nightstand. My original design was to cut off the base and do a nice sleek design. However, after looking at both of those details, I felt like I needed to create a base that also hung out over the edge about a 1/2 inch as well. So the first thing I had to do was remove the base pieces and cut off the bottom. It was pretty easy because all I had to do for these pieces were unscrew and then lift them off. Then it was time to cut off the base. So I made sure that I made a nice level line, even with the base of the frame on the inside. Then I used my circular saw to cut a nice even line, and it was time to start measuring. So for the ease of this video, I'm just going to show you how I made the nightstand base. The first thing I had to do was get my measurements and take into account the 1/2 inch that I needed on both the front and then both of the sides. The back could be flush because it needed to go flush against the wall. Once I made my measurements, then I had to slide my piece of wood down and give it a nice clean cut. Now that I had all my cuts together, I just fit the pieces together just to make sure that it looked good. Now this is where your pocket hole jig is really going to come into handy. The first thing I wanted to do was measure the thickness of the wood so that I could adjust my pocket holes correctly. Whenever you're building a base and you don't want the screw holes to show, this is a great way to use your pocket hole system. There's also a little adjustment on the drill piece where you can put in your measurement. This allows the pocket holes to not dig too far or too little into the wood. It gives you that perfect depth. So now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to put little marks where I need my pocket holes to go. I need them in the sides of the middle 2 pieces and then as well as the bottom all the way around for when I need to screw it into my piece. So once I had all of my measurements put on, I went to use my pocket hole jig and realized that my wood was too thick. So now I have to use my old school jig where you hold it on and then you screw it in. This is absolutely fine to use. It just makes my time a little bit longer. This is where it really comes in handy if you mark where you need your pocket jig holes to go in the first place, because then it's just attaching it, drilling your holes, untaching it, getting your other piece of wood, and so forth. I also like to use a 2x4 when I'm using my old school jig just to hold the pocket jig on to my surface. Now that I have all my pocket holes drilled, it's time to put the drill head in, and I'm going to take screws and drill in each of my pocket holes. I'm going to start by putting my base together and connecting each piece before I attach the bottom. As I was screwing in my base pieces, my husband saw that I was not using a clamp, and he took a break from his sanding to tell me that a clamp will help keep my lines on my pieces to be very flush, which it did. I was so happy that he came over and showed me that. So definitely use a clamp when you are screwing your base pieces together. Okay, now it's time to see how the base looks. If I have measured correctly, I should have about a 1/2 inch lip around the base of each side, except for the back, which I kept flush. So let's see how it looks. I do have to make a couple adjustments, but for the most part, I've got about a 1/2 inch on each side, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Now that the base is hanging about a 1/2 inch over the lip, it is time to screw it into the bottom of the piece. I used 1 and 1.5 inch screws because my wood was a little bit thicker. Okay, it's time to flip it over and see what we got. I was so excited that we had a design now that matched the top and overhung just as much as that little lip. After doing all the other necessary repairs and painting this piece, this is what the base looks like. I am so happy with how it turned out, and it really complements this piece well. The best part about this base is that you can use it even for larger pieces, which I also did to the dresser.